Woof! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday at Two Dogs Digs, where we're chatting today about the biggest myths about thrifting and reselling. The biggest. We got 10. Like, there's probably way more, but we got 10 of what we think are some of the biggest myths about reselling and thrifting that are out there. And hey, welcome, Hydrant. I haven't seen you in a while. And hello to Carl. We haven't seen Carl in a while either. So let me just pop on the other half, who is downstairs. So hello to everyone. Hello to other half.
Hello to everyone.
He's getting used to our computer downstairs. Update.
I do not like Windows 11.
And he does not like Windows 11. So, and he works on an Apple, so he's like my computer pro. But so hi to everybody who's here joining us, especially a hello to those of you who are also supporters of ourselves at the Kennel Club. So hello to Heather and Bob and Nellie. Hello, Kendra. Donna's here. Janet, Lisa, Susan, Carl, as I said, Marianne, Paul, Tina, Greg, Idrin, Michael, Brian, I'm sure Charmaine's in there somewhere. And since, Elisa's here, and Jennifer. Hey, Susan's a few minutes late. And a few people may be a little bit later, but that's okay, because you can always watch a replay if you want. But one of the comments that we got, so again, today we are talking about the biggest myths of thrifting and reselling. And one of the comments, the first comment we got from Lighthouse Booth was, please sing Bad Dog. Tonight, I need some cheering up. A dog ran into me at the dog park and broke my tibia.
Left arm or right arm? I really hope
that is a bad dog that broke your tibia, but you did ask for a song. So maybe I might have one prepared.
I know this.
You keep hearing tons of scary stories. Thrifting and reselling are a mess. You've been worrying when you shouldn't be worrying. Now we're going to help you get that off your chest. These myths are made for busting, and that's just what we'll do. And one of these days, these myths are gonna disappear from you. Keep mything. There you go.
Myth. Make me laugh.
Myth.
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 Myth. Well, you should have seen it. Like, oh God, here we go. Thank you, Charmaine. I try to make it fun. It was very difficult because up until like an hour beforehand, I had a really bad song to Kelly Clarkson's Myth Independent, but I was tripping over my mouth when I kept playing Myth Independent. So
you do not want to hear that one.
Myth Independent? No.
Doug, our deaf dog, ran to the back of the yard to escape it.
So anyway, I can't do them with real music, even karaoke music underneath it, because if I do, it flags the videos. So I have to just make up my own music. So anyway, yes, today is all about myths. But before we get into that, we're gonna have a Chinese chicken. The Chinese. Oh, that would be too hard for me to do. I'll try and figure out when to do that in a topic coming up. The Bare Naked Ladies, if you're not familiar with that song. I don't even know half the words. I sing the wrong words all the time to that song. But speaking of China, I think first off, I just want to chat about one little thing, which is earlier today, strange enough, Chit Chats, which is a cross-border shipper that we use all the time for our shipping into the U.S. They use USPS. They also have a service that uses Canada Post. And the interesting thing today was at 3:30 today, we got a notice from them that said that the shipments that they are doing with Canada Post but they didn't. They basically said the shipments with Canada Post,
Yes,
from Ontario, which get delivered from Ontario into Chicago, Illinois, that 25% of the packages are being turned back. Now, no context as to why, whether it is the fact that Canada Post does not require that you put in country of origin, or if it is people who are actually still sending stuff from China because they don't know anything about it and they're putting country of origin. Not a single piece of context. And absolutely nothing is listed anywhere on the Canada Post website. Not a single thing.
yeah, I think they do mention in their the notice that they put out, just as a notification. It's not on their blog yet. Just as a notification, they did mention that the Customs and Border Patrol were bouncing the packages back when the country of origin was identified as China.
Oh, okay. Well, again, it's interesting because I don't know, those of you who are in our craft group, one of our admins on the craft group, Matt Dembski, actually works for Canada Post. And so if anything is like coming down through Canada Post, we actually would know about it from Matt. Matt has not heard anything on this at all. And again, there's nothing anywhere on Canada Post website. And in fact, strangely enough, when Rick went to try and find it on the Chit Chats website, because we got an email, when he went to try and find it on the Chit Chats email, it was buried into their draft folder on their blog. It wasn't even published properly. So who knows? All about that. You never know what's going
just keep your eyes open if you
just keep your eyes open and
Canada Post to ship your made in China items.
Now, there's something else that I've been waiting for like 3 weeks now, 3 of our shows now, to talk about this. And now he's finally in here. I can talk about it. So Carl, our lazy Carl, the reseller, never bothered to tell anyone that he has a show.
A secret of life.
A show all about his life. And it is running on, I think, the Baby's First channel. Didn't pick it, Carl, but I guess that's where you wanted to put it. And yes, here it is. His Carl's new show, Carl the Collector.
It's so cute, Carl.
It is. It's such a cute show. This is Carl the Collector. And Carl the Collector is a show about, this is on PBS. Carl turns to his friends to help him organize his plushie collection. And Carl loses his bouncy ball collection. So it's 15-minute shows. And this is Carl, the raccoon. And this is Carl's collection in the back. And every show for Carl the Collector is Yeah. Yes. Okay. It's really not Carl the Lazy Reseller, but it really is a show called Carl the Collector. It is real. It is on PBS. That's where I found it. Just scooting through.
It's not AI generated either.
Huh?
It's not AI generated either.
No, it's not AI. It's a real show. And there's all sorts of different shows. This show down here, which you can't see, this is Carl and his pickle collection. That's down in the bottom here. There's his pickle collection that goes missing. There's his collection all behind him. You can see Carl in his bed.
I'll have to ask Amy if that's a true from life.
Yes, I'll say, ask Amy, is that what the bed? We know that's what the basement looks like. Does Carl have a mat in the basement too? But I love this. Like Carl turns to his friends to help organize his plush. I just thought that would be fun for everybody to look at. And so not only is that fun, but it's fun also that Mr. Ricky is finally 60. So he gets to take advantage of senior day, his 30% off day. And this is what he decided to pick up on his 30% off day. There's here. It's better to show you this in person.
It's a trash can that says, "My sons."
It says, "These are my sons." And then the middle one says, "He's my younger brother." And the other one says, "Hello." This is just so strange.
It's kind of weird. It is by Lion Star, and I think it's a Chinese company. It looks vintage. I don't know. It's only $2.99, less the senior discount.
So the $1.99. So legitimately, yes, he's finally legit. Yeah, that's true. Some trash cans can sell for good money. And especially some of the ones that are in the sort of, I'll call it the anime sort of Hello Kitty kind of world. And that type of thing, that literally looks like that's the 60s, 70s kind of thing there with like strange those kind of things. And the place that I bought it from, ostriches with shag haircuts. Yeah, basically. I know. But I couldn't find it when I Google imaged it. But it's actually
Lion Star Plastics.
Lion Star Plastics. And again, it's just something interesting that we found on our thing today, because we actually, the only other thing, he found all three. He found that. And what else did you find today? On 2 baggies from the baggie wall that had Melmac stuff in it. And what was the other thing you found? Or some other thing you found?
Oh, the camera thing.
Oh, yeah. It was like this. Oh, that's right. This bizarre thing. Now, you would probably go, what? I just saw the box and I thought, oh, that's interesting. It's a variable vignetter for every vignetting need. I had no idea there were lots of vignetting needs. So, and it was $3.99. So I opened it up, and what is it? I haven't got a freaking clue.
It's lacy.
It's like, it's some kind of at least it tells you underneath how to use the variable vignetter. And leave inflammable. Caution, leaves inflammable. These leaves are flammable. I don't know. Anyway,
fold inward, and it kind of.
I guess they fold inward, and you're trying to do something. That's what's variable about it. Now, would you ever buy a Willow variable vignetter? Well, I didn't know this, but I guess I needed. My vignetting needs is that this sells for $50 Canadian. Sold. Multiples, $50.
Yeah.
So I had to buy this vignetter. Rick actually saw
it. I saw it. I put it back on the shelf.
And then he put it back, and then I found it. So it's sort of a dual find between the two of us. But that was $3. Another just bizarre thing that we haven't found very much over the past little while. So
now Carl is saying that anyone under 30 will give him the senior discount without asking. And Donna says never the senior discount. I don't know if I should be mad or not.
Well, actually, you know what, though? This is something interesting for people who shop at Value Village in Canada. They have just introduced a new software program for their cash registers. And I saw it today work for the first time, because normally when they went to do the senior discount, all that the people who worked there had to do was put your hand on a little scanner and then push one button. And on the top, it said senior discount, push another button. Now they have to push multiple buttons, and a screen comes up on the side that said, confirm the person is over 60. And there's a yes button in there. Now, they didn't ask me, but it's like they have 7 steps to go through. And now one of the actual steps says, confirm the person is over 60. So
that's probably because some manager saw some 30-year-old giving Carl a discount when clearly he's in his 20s.
Oh, no, it wasn't my picture. Is this the person? Is this the old person you? And no, it doesn't scan your fingerprints. It scans theirs. The way that they unlock their cash registers for their own stuff is they have a hand scanner they get to put their hand in.
No, they don't take a photo yet.
No, they don't take a photo. No.
Yeah.
And I look for liver spots. Well, the thing is, I've actually been getting the senior discount since I was like in my late 40s. I've only had it asked once. And the one time I had it asked by some of the cashiers, I literally said, I want to see you ask every other woman here about getting their proof of age. And they looked at me and they went, here it is. Go ahead. Because I was like, you're not going to just ask me and let all these women that walk by just, I've seen her, and there were people there who I know were well under 60. So anyway.
Yeah, a discount is a discount.
How do they confirm scent, breath, smell of mothballs?
Yes, I'll tuck a couple in the fanny pack for later.
So,
see mothballs.
yeah, one of the things that actually started this thought about doing the myths was something in this past week. I don't know how many of you are still on the Facebook, or if you're in the Instagram. I don't know, or if it's, I don't see much of this stuff showing up as much on TikTok or anything like that.
Flipboard has a lot of them too.
Flipboard has a lot. It's these damn stories. Don't toss these 11 vintage items. They could be worth a fortune. Look in your closet and see what you got. Earn a fortune with these in-demand home items. And it's half the stuff when you go through these that I look at. This particular one is just stupid. But then half the stuff that they have in here will, like, all they'll do is go, kitchenware, look for Pyrex. For example, a 4-piece set sold on eBay for $900. It's like, you can't just put in one little thing like that, right? If you own any Polly Pocket toys, specifically made in the 90s, the Christmas Hospital sold for $132. It's like, these drive me crazy. Like this one, don't toss these 11 items. Hallmark silver and glass buckets. Now, I look at a lot of them, and it's clickbait. It's literally clickbait. That you see, like, yes, the $5,000 Corning casseroles. Yes, you see, that's one that drives me crazy too. When you teach digital citizenship, I show these as examples of clickbait. Yeah, you never see them. Oh God. Carl says Doug said, yeah, his Googles are full of these. And yeah, most of the time they are pretty well, Tina, like as you said, they're like pretty well dead wrong. Every once in a while, I mean, this one is at least quoting something. This one is quoting some things.
Check out some of the bylines. Who's writing these things?
Like, but they're picking out one thing. It's like, were you a Boy Scout? For example, one collection of medals and patches sold for $240. Rarer material can sell for $2,000. And it's like, yeah, everything has prices available for it, whether people buy it. And yeah, Kendra, that's right. That sealed Disney, yeah, the Black Diamond Disney. So it's like all, I don't know if these are AI made, because these things have been coming out for years and years and years. Like, we've been seeing these.
But of late, there is a plethora of these sorts of articles. And I've seen YouTube channels where people use AI to earn money writing articles for publications and make money, make money, make money.
So it's just, that's kind of what made us think about this, right? Like, is what are some of the biggest myths that people have? So we put together 10 myths that we are going to talk about today.
Your mileage may vary.
Your mileage may vary, and you may not agree with some of these things. But we just wanted to sort of go through these, especially if somebody happens to be new and they watch this afterwards. If they haven't turned off after my singing, or they've decided that it's going to be better for them to watch Carl on the cartoon for Carl the Collector versus watching the rest of it. But some people may watch all the way through, and if they do, they'll see these 10 things. So the first thing that we're going to put is something up, which is the simple fact that people say, "Hey, Swoops, you're not that new." Holly, it's Holly. Holly's not that new, but hello. The first one is that everything sells eventually. This is probably one of the biggest myths that I think a lot of people think is like, everything I buy is going to sell. And the way that I try and approach it, people understanding this kind of thing, is twofold. One is I just scream inside my head, lies! It's all lies! That's what's going on in my head, right? But the main thing that
actually.
That's what I had here. But the main thing that I try and equivocate this to big word. It's my word from my word of the day calendar. Equivocate. Is that things sell. It's true. Lots of different things sell. Some people can have more success selling certain items than other people have. But in general, not everything will sell eventually. And we can tell that because we've been doing this for 35 years and we have items that we've had listed for 10. And it's not great items. They may not be a great price or anything along those lines. And you know what, Nellie, we hope it finally will sell at a garage sale. And we've done that and put it out at a garage sale and not sold anything at a garage sale. So it's not that everything will sell. Oh, really? A reseller channel that says that phrase often? No. And I guess the way it'll sell when you bring it to the thrift store and somebody else may buy it. Yes, that's kind of true. I guess the way what I try to equivocate to people is that if we are not like Walmart, but even a Walmart or a Macy's or everything for a dollar store, none of those people sell out. If they sold out in less than a week, the entire inventory of a Walmart would be empty. The Bay, which went under, had to go for a month and a half of trying to get rid of their stock and still didn't get rid of their stock at 70 and 80% off and still had stuff they had to turn back or donate or do something with. Not everything sells. So some items are duds. And the thing you have to think about with that is when you have inventory sitting around, it's money you have tied up. So now, Donna,
I think it's more than just money that's tied up. It's also it's taking up space, and taking up space not only physically but taking up space in your mind. It's like, oh my God, this is still here. And then you pile stuff on top of it. Oh, that's still there. Oh no. So that's part of the whole. It's not going to sell, is it? Mentality.
Yeah, so again, the fine art of selling everything it's not a fine art. It's basically a myth. So, but a very good point that actually got made, where is it? By Donna, is know your niche. But even if you know your niche, Donna, and I'll sort of put this out there, sort of, you have an antique booth. Your booth isn't empty. And from 1 month to the next month, in 99% of the world, your booth is not emptying out of every single thing you've got. So there's things that will sell. Sometimes it's price point, but there are also people who buy things that just don't sell. And I actually have gone to garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, and things like that. And the end of an estate sale, seen hundreds of items left over in estate sales. We've gone to beginning of estate sales and seen hundreds of items that aren't going to sell. Like the reason that a thrift store is filled with shelves and shelves and shelves of glass bowls is because nobody wants glass bowls. Doesn't matter who would buy them. They aren't selling as glass bowls. That's why they have gigantic shelves filled with glass bowls.
That's why you buy them when you have a rage room.
Yeah. So eventually it will magically turn into a Value Village coupon. We don't talk about the space. Okay, sorry, we don't talk about the space. Andrew's saying no, we don't. We do talk about the space. So Charmaine's got a really good point. Items do have cycles. Sometimes they're in style and sometimes they're not. And unfortunately, sometimes the not is after you bought it and then it became a not. And it's like, but I just bought it. Why is it now a not?
Yeah, but that's why in the field research pays off quite often.
And then, to get rid of it, it is. There's ways you can get rid of it, but you may not get rid of everything. Again, this myth is everything sells eventually. So we don't think that that's true. Susan actually says she works for an estate sale company, and even at 60% off, it doesn't sell. Yeah. I go to garage sales where stuff is I've been to a garage sale that stuff has been a nickel and a dime and have not spent a nickel or a dime because I've looked at this stuff and went, I don't want that. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of that. So, Lisa said, if you've never had an inventory structural collapse, you are not a reseller. That's not a myth. That's a fact.
Yeah. I put up these lovely hangers or rods for hanging vintage clothing. And I thought I had put the posts into structural, like 2x4s in the wall. I didn't. I was hanging up the clothes and the whole thing ripped off part of the wall.
Part of the wall.
No!
I
And then I
remember
realized,
that.
oh, we're not going to be able to put these up because the 2x4s aren't spaced properly.
No, we try, yeah, and it was such a good plan. We actually had gone out, and I think we'd spent like $90 on these rails and the things at
The rails and
the home
the
improvement store. I was like,
holders
this will
and
work, and it's like, oh, it drilly, drilly. Ooh, that looks great. We have
hang
2
up,
rows
hang up.
of them. Hangy, drop. Did not work. Myth
I
number
learned a
2.
few new swear words that day.
Myth number 2.
And that's why I don't like taking pictures of clothing.
Yeah. The race to the bottom. You have to race to the bottom on price. You have to sell stuff at the lowest price out there. Excuse the pun. Use a stud finder. I tried to find the studs. I could not find the studs.
Next time I'm at Home Depot, I'll find one and have him come with me to install these. How's that?
So here's again, this is just a myth. A lot of people think you have to be cheap. You Nellie's already. Please do not. These people annoy me. Please do not race for the bottom. Yes, it is. It is quite annoying to see people racing to the bottom for pricing. Now, there's a number of reasons that actually doesn't win. Like, and this could be anything from people who are trying to include free shipping into something, or trying to just have a really, really low price on an item, is that buyers care about what they're getting. So it's about photos. It can be about trust. It can be about feedback. It can be about shipping time. It doesn't always have to be over a price. And in fact, one of the things that we found, and this was actually really weird, we used to do toy shows. And at the toy shows that we would do, we would actually go and we would price some items. We had to change our direction on how we did stuff at one point. Some of our Barbie items that we had really good prices because I had bought like a gigantic collection of like $300. So I want to get rid of as many of these dolls as I can. And I didn't pay a lot for them. So I can offer these at really great prices. And then at a live doll show, we found people looking at our stuff that was in amazing condition. And then they were going next door and buying something from somebody else that wasn't in as good a condition as ours, but was priced higher than ours. And it was one of those things that was just like, I kept saying to Rick, what the hell? Because people would come up to our booth and go, what do you think of this? I just got this from Mary. I just got this from Jane. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And it's like, she wanted $350 for that. You saw we had one for $250.
And ours is in better condition with the original outfit.
And we did say that to a couple of people, which may have turned them off. It got them a little mad. I know at least one point we had somebody who was a big Barbie collector who then went back to the other dealer to try and get her money back because she found a better one at us. And it's like, but yeah, I think that's just it, Kendra, in some cases too. People are naturally suspicious that the item is priced too low. So it's the fact that we're talking about, no, I don't think it was me.
It could have been me because I'm a bitch.
But that's what we think about. Like, it's whether or not it is actually good for you. Plus, as Charmaine says, yes, it decreases the value. I'm not sure what's going on with this. I had Heather found Bob with her stud finder. Okay, I get that. Now I get that. Yes. Holly said, my coworker has 7 storage lockers, 2 booths, and she keeps on buying. I don't see how she makes a profit, and she does more sales on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, again, it's you just want to watch that you're not just dropping prices for the sake of dropping prices. Now, it does make a lot of people mad as well who are resellers like us when you see that people are Donna got the comment because she knew the Jane that I was talking about, but it wasn't Jane. Is that when other people
might
are
have been Mark.
Yeah, I should have said Mark. When people start dropping the prices, then for you, it could be that your investment is going to, you have to drop a price to try and compete with somebody. And that's why we always say, try and look at everything, try and keep a bigger position on it, because some people put things up for $1 for auctions. Some people put things up and then they don't get more than the $1. And some people will find something and they just don't know the price. They'll put it for $9. And then you'll check and see other people have sold the same thing for 50 and 60. Because the consumers, the buyers, don't necessarily look for the lowest price. They look for lots of different things on eBay or Etsy or Poshmark or Depop or on Facebook Marketplace. They could be comparing things. Right now, I watch these things because I watch for ideas. I've got some vintage Star Wars glasses, and I'm thinking about putting them up at our booth because I actually have about 30 or 40 of them because I used to collect them.
As long as I don't drop the box carrying them up the stairs, you'll be fine.
But I just, in the past week and a half, I've been seeing them show up in Facebook Marketplace. And it's very interesting because I'm saving them so I can look back at them to see if they ever get sold. One person had a set of 4 for $350. Another person had them for $30 a piece. Another person had them for $15 a piece. Another person had a set for $60. And so I'm looking at all these things. And then the person who had them for $30 a piece actually showed that they had like 4 of these, 3 of these, 2 of these. And whether it's true or not, they were like down to one, sold out, sold out. And I'm like, you're not the lowest price. You're not the highest price. You're in the middle and you've sold $200 worth of glasses. So it doesn't have to be the bottom. It doesn't always have to be a race to the bottom to try and do that. You just keep that room. And then, yes, other things that people do that make it seem like the bottom is they do free shipping. And free shipping is still costing us. So people try, if you do free shipping and you add it in, like we do on Etsy, for example. So we have a $25 item, we list it at $35 US, and it shows it's free shipping and it gets extra push from Etsy. That's a way to do it. But we ain't Amazon, and none of you guys are either. Well, you may use Amazon, but most of us don't. Pardon me. Andrew said that it's also USA versus Canada. You can get higher prices on many things in Canada, but it's slower to sell. Yeah. You can get higher prices on Etsy for the same item that you can get on eBay, and a lower price for an item on Poshmark. Then you can see the same item on different platforms, and it's all going to be different prices on every different platform. So it's really strange that people actually think I've got to have the lowest price. If I don't have the lowest price, people are not going to buy from me. Number 3, will AI replace resellers? Well, no, really, not replace. Now, people say that it will potentially replace people. I think in the sense, Rick, that they're looking at that thinking, well, AI will help you shop. It will do all but what it doesn't necessarily do is it doesn't source. I mean, it could, but I don't know if it'll be able to spot a real Bakelite bracelet from a fake one in a picture. So there's some things to do, but it can help, again, to assist resellers to be better. So it's a myth that it's going to and it'll make your world better. It doesn't. AI is not going to also make your world better, because AI will make resellers it already is making resellers get lazy. I know that.
Well, one of the things I do like about AI in some cases, I notice when I'm doing a Carl search, Google will actually sometimes provide an AI summary of the image that you're searching. And 9 times out of 10, I'm finding that the description or the information it provides doesn't show up in the first 10 search results, and is quite often accurate enough to actually identify what something is. And that leads to a better search on other platforms like eBay or Etsy or Worthpoint or however we're looking something up. So it's not all bad. It can recognize some things better than just the regular Google search was doing.
Yeah, and it can make things like easier. Again, it can be helpful. Right now, as a perfect example, even though we don't use them very much at the moment, Max Sold has actually developed a new program that allows you to take pictures of items, and literally their AI will basically write a whole description for you, identify the item, do a whole bunch of stuff to it that allows you to save a lot of potential time. That's a good thought. We'll write that down, and I will then ask AI how to do. No. I will, but I will ask AI.
Another comment is that AI descriptions are so obvious. That's because most of the platforms that are using AI all source their AI through likely Google or one of
Yeah,
the other big
there
AI
are a lot
companies.
of wrong things. Like,
I do remember when eBay first initiated their AI descriptions. Everything is still flowery and kind of, this is the perfect edition, blah, 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 blah. And then at some point, eBay came out with a statement that, hey, even though it's AI generated, you have to make sure that the details that eBay or that the AI is using in the description still accurately reflect the item you're selling. Because
yeah,
AI can't be responsible for items not as described, even though they're providing the AI.
yeah, and that's one of the challenges. Even with the Max Sold, we said you're putting together these these flowery descriptions of items, and then with the flowery description, the main thing about an auction like Max Sold is they used to say, don't ever get flowery because one person's excellent is another person's crappy. So
Yeah.
don't give conditions, and those
Always
things do
be
that all the time. But
objective,
we do
not subjective.
generally we find a lot. I mean, we have people who've tried to post things in the craft group, and they posted that like they're finding about something, or they want to ask a question, and they want to answer a question, which I've seen in other Facebook groups. And I literally had to post on another Facebook group. Somebody had said, "This is what vintage is." And I said to them, and this is what retro is. And they were completely wrong descriptions. And I literally put, stop asking ChatGTP what these items are, because if you don't know, you don't know. So,
Yeah, we're getting a few comments coming back that are really interesting. Heather says if she uses AI, she'll say I'm using AI.
wow.
Carl used AI to find the contents of an obscure board game. It found what I couldn't. That's what I was talking about when some of the image searches that I was doing and the Google or the Carl description came up with really deep
Yeah.
answers that weren't in the top like 2 pages of Google. So
Oh, at least it can help with people with that. So I might use her for that thing. AI, interesting and intelligent. Donna says, I always adjust the AI descriptions on the title and the description. Yeah.
the only thing I'm using AI for right now for reselling is when I need to look up an HTS code. I will actually go to ChatGPT and say, give me using the government's HTS website and documentation, I need the 10-digit HTS code for this item made in this country. And provide the source. Show me where you got this information from.
Yeah.
And 99 times out of 100, I get exactly the code I need.
Number 4. Everything, everywhere, all at once. You have to, this is a big myth that you have to be on every platform. You have to be everywhere all the time in order to sell. Well, we know for a fact that that's not necessarily true. We actually have been on eBay for almost 30 years now. And I think it's 29 years. It'll be 30 years next year. And for the first 24, 25, or 20 plus years, we only used eBay. We might have used a Kijiji once or twice, but we didn't use Etsy. We didn't use Poshmark. We didn't use Depop. We didn't use any of the other things out there. We just concentrated on one. And although right now we do say that cross-listing can help you, and the cross-list magic is amazing for us to help them. People have said that it's helping them in many ways. It's just that you don't have to be on every platform. Some people just, part of that talk when we're talking about race to the lowest, you can list the same item on everything from Etsy, eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and Facebook Marketplace. And I can bet you your prices are going to be different on every one of them. Depop is notoriously cheap. Whatnot is like cheaper than dollar store cheap. So you also don't want to stretch yourself so thin that you burn out or that you lose things because you're going, wait, I don't remember where I put this. I sold it on this platform. I forgot I didn't take it off this platform or anything along those lines. So, but there's easy ways to do that. And like Tina's got the comment, I am on eBay, but at some point I want to give Etsy a try. And that's, we are going to be trying to build some stuff over the summer that is like how to start on Etsy, how to start on eBay for people. And again, part of that makes it easy is the crosslist magic, because it takes my eBay listing and pops it right over. And Tina, if you want, we can always get together and show, like I can show you how to do that as something specifically for that. So, but again, it just means you don't have to be everywhere. Be strategic. Some items do better on other platforms as well. You don't, although plushes may sell on Poshmark, they may sell better on eBay than they do on Etsy. They also have all different audiences, not only demographically, but in total. There's a hell of a lot more people that are on eBay generally over in North America than there are on Etsy, than there are on Poshmark. So that's the reason that places like Poshmark are always trying to advertise, and so is Etsy. They feel, based according to the people at eBay that we used to talk to, they feel like that's how they have to do it. They have to get people to come to them. eBay, I keep saying, we get new people on eBay all the time who have zero feedback. And it's because they didn't even think about buying anything on eBay. Bluegrass, I can only handle one platform. Yeah. That's true. It's true for a lot of people.
I'm with you, Bluegrass. Ollie.
Next one. Shipping is hard. Shipping. Well, it's really, at the end of the day,
it's not rocket science.
It's not
getting the pricing can be challenging for big items, but once you've done a couple, it's actually okay. Let's charge a flat amount and roll the dice.
Yeah, and I think we have a video. If you're new to us here or you're looking at it, I think we have a shipping video in there on how to do flat rate shipping. The biggest thing to think about when you're looking at shipping for any items is that it's just as easy. You just need a box and something to keep anything that you've got, or an envelope and something to keep anything that you've got safe in travel. And at the end of the day, it's that simple. What you don't want to do is have, like, practically Amazon does, which is have a 12 by 12 by 12 box to ship a pen. And it's like that rattles all around in it. Or to send a glass or a ceramic coffee mug in a bubble envelope with no protection. That's the thing I think that people are always like, it's going to break.
Using a cereal box.
Yeah, and you watch that you don't do boxes that go, okay, this is like a food box or a booze box or a diaper box. I mean, think about what you'd be getting. Like that's our thing about shipping, is just think about how you would receive something and what would you think if you got something sent to you in those kind of boxes. It's like, and don't give me the recycling world. We got to save the planet. No. Saving the planet is one thing. Using an old diaper box and wrapping a vase in some pet diapers is not something that I like. Oh, look at honey, we've got extra unused diapers that we can now wrap things in.
Well, some people might appreciate those depending on who you're sending it to.
Oh, okay. There's a YouTube channel called I'm Gonna Pack It, which is done by an eBay reseller. Really good tips for packing or overpacking. Oh, that's good to know. I'll have to go check them out. And if you want good reviews, just bubble wrap the heck out of the items. Yeah, and it's like anything that at least needs a box, I figure the box size and the weight and add a few ounces, and then you don't undercharge. Well, not only that, Tina, true, if you have to buy a box, or you just have to start thinking about those things built into either your sales price or into your shipping price as well. So it's not that hard. Again, I often see people saying, I don't know how to ship. I'm afraid to ship. People mail stuff all the time. The world has got people mailing stuff all the time. Your first packages may end up being extremely difficult. Don't sell them. If you're going to try, if you're afraid to ship, don't decide that the first thing you want to send is a television set or a set of 6 vintage glasses. Try and sell that t-shirt, a plush dog, anything that is easy to ship. Try those. Once you get under a few, then you get a handle for it. You will always potentially have things that you hate shipping. Hence, I have the shipping master beside me here because I actually have to say to him sometimes when I'm looking at something, am I allowed to buy this? Because you're going to have to pack it. And he's actually said, if you buy that, you're packing it.
Yep, so, and he's bought it and he's packed it.
Yeah.
And I have to sit by and bite my nails and trying not to give him advice about how he's doing it all wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does that. He's done it a couple of times where I'm in the middle of packing. He goes, I would. And I went, oh, no, you would not.
Mm-hmm.
You do not.
Now,
you want to start? I will walk away. I will walk away from this box. Right? I will rip the thing open that I created. I will put it back on this corner of the counter, and you will pack it. If you don't get the heck away from my face. And he just sort of.
Yep, I've learned to just leave the room.
Sometimes I've caught him twice. I've caught him. Our kitchen and dining room, we have a second floor that has a balcony, like a walk-through that you can over. I have caught him peeking around the corner like that, looking down at me packing. And I'm like, go. So.
Now, Tina's saying that she actually pre-packs big things and keeps them in the garage. That's great if you have space for that. Alyssa uses Pirate Ship, and they do have a cubic service that's called Box in a Bag.
Yeah.
That's really, really cheap. Unfortunately, all of the cross-border shippers in Canada of any merit are no longer accepting any third-party postage, so we can't do Pirate Ship anymore.
I love Carl's comment. I'm like that when putting together IKEA items. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Stay away. Bob ships, so I can't buy stuff he won't ship. So yeah, you're in the same. From a delivery person perspective, always pack your parcel so it can withstand several 2-foot drops. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Movement is what kills your package.
Sitting on top of it. Donna mailed a volcano Christmas tree to Halifax. It made in one piece. Took 45 minutes to wrap and pack it. So again, with things like that, it's like we have some stuff that we sell, and I don't mind selling something that it's going to take us or take Rick 45 minutes to pack in Frankenbox if we're going to make $100, $200 on it, and it only costs us
a $10 item. It's like, no, you're not spending an hour to pack it.
Number 6, thrift stores are all picked over. Well, yes and no. In reality, I think the competition is really, really high. So it is a myth that they're all picked over. But I think the thing that most people do look at is you do have the ability to miss an item that's gold. So I've got a thing here that was $3 that I can sell for potentially $40 to $50. This was in a thrift store. I do find some stores, depending on where you are and where you go, to be empty of things, to have shelves that unfortunately do look like this.
But those are empty on the shelves that you normally go to. So what other shelves are there you could be looking at?
Yeah.
Learn about a different type of product, perhaps.
Don't we all have a box collection? Oh, we have lots of empty boxes. Yeah, we have. Rick said that. At least you're a veteran reseller if you criticize other people shipping at the post office. Just don't do it out loud. That's all. Does it stress anyone else out when you're in a thrift store and all you see are resellers? You know what, Kendra? Until about 2 years ago, maybe 3. It might have been pre-COVID. Post-COVID, no. Post-COVID, I couldn't give a crap. I just know that there's so many of them out there. I just want every other person has their phone in front of them now. So it doesn't stress me out. It does
I even
stress
comment
Greg out.
there. That's not going to sell. I'd put it back if I were you.
Oh, geez. Ask me how many people line at the post office that you tell about pirate ship. I'm sure they know. Well, it's still USPS, so they don't have to worry about that. Some days there's more stuff in the thrift stores than in other days. Yeah, and I mean, that just depends on where you
The
do.
cart zombies crack me up.
It makes Elisa more competitive. She starts acting like a rugby player. Rick today was like, today when we were in the one store, it was jammed. And the shelves had stuff on them, but
Oh, this
I've
guy
seen stuff
kept
on the
getting in
shelf
my
that's been
way.
there for 2-3 weeks kind of thing. Like, it surprises me. And then you'll see something that is like, wait a second, how come this is gone from a shelf? So I just saw, let me see if I can find the picture of it. The other day I saw something this in a store, which I thought was absolutely hideous. This is a homemade Bart or Homer and Marge Simpson. $6.99 and Marge is $9.99. Look how bad the eyes are on it. It's like, this is homemade ceramics. It was gone in 3 days. I went back to that same store and in 3 days it was gone for $15. This was on there last Friday and it was not there today. So 3 days later, it's gone. So yes, it is when we're talking about the fact that the thrift stores are picked over, there is competition, but keep a lookout on other things. Look for other places. Look at obscure shops. Look for posting your own wanted lists, Facebook cleanouts. But also when you're in your own lane, you can look for stuff that other people won't look for. Carl's a perfect one where I know, for example, like when we met to go when we met in Kingston together, he could go to a certain place and he would go straight to like the remotes and he could go and grab what he needed. And I would go there and go, I can't figure out anything. Carl said there is one store to avoid because there's 3 to 4 sellers that wait at the cart entrance and attack it. Yes, cart zombies. Oh,
actually, our guys are pretty good because the staff will chase people away and say, "You grab something from the cart, you're out of the store."
So we got like 8 minutes left. So 10. This is you need a storage locker full of stuff as inventory. So no, you don't. You don't actually need to have that much stuff. You need to make sure that you've got items, but you can have a very small inventory as a reseller and do extremely well. You can have a gigantic inventory of books like Greg does. You can have a gigantic inventory of Barbies and toys like we do. But you can also have a small inventory of things that you just are focused on and that you actually know can sell. And we do know of some people, and that's their niche. They may do clothing, and part of the way that they actually do something, and could be because of where they've got to sell it, they don't have a lot of space to hold it. So they got a closet in their house and they can fill that closet. And when they fill that closet up, they can't shop anymore till they sell it. And then they can replace it. But they only focus on purses, or they only focus on like hats, or they only baseball. We know somebody who only does baseball caps. And they have a chance, they can buy an inventory of 30 or 40, they do, but otherwise they may just shop for a cap or two. And that's the focus of what they sell. So you don't have to have an entire storage locker filled with everything. Now, that said, yes, we do. We have a storage locker that is filled with stuff. So it's a myth we're busting, but it's true about us. So
we only did that because we had 2 storage lockers we needed to downsize.
Pot kettle. I love this one. The most valuable antique is an old friend. Myth. Well, no, okay, that may not be a myth. But what I'm trying to say there is, if it's old, it's valuable. And that is not necessarily true. A lot of stuff that's old ain't valuable anymore. Just because, even if it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's valuable. And many cases, it depends on a lot of things. It's the rarity. It could be a niche thing. And a perfect example of that is like, there are squishmallows that are worth more than some vintage glassware from the 50s and 60s. There's some mid-century modern stuff that's worth more than other mid-century modern stuff. So Danish teak furniture is worth 10 times as much as regular walnut furniture. Like, so it doesn't necessarily mean because it's old, it's valuable.
I'm finding that there's softening in the markets as we're aging. The things that were really collectible 20 years ago are now becoming out of fashion because the people who collected those things and wanted to spend money on the nostalgia of those things are either retired or dust. So the market is changing. So you have to pay attention to the market for some of the older things.
Yeah. Next one is one of my favorite ones. All eBayers are scammers.
We are.
There's so many scammers. Everybody's a scammer. It's not true. And again, this is one of the things that we try to post as much as we possibly can. And it's just a very simple saying that all you see is when people complain. You never see when people are happy. You very little do you see, hey, look at my happy sales. Look at what I've done. Now, when we do our sales, like our what sold, we're happy. When we find something and can flip it, and we talk to people in our craft group and say, hey, what's your wins this week and things like that, people are happy, and that's great. There are lots of things like that that are making people happy, and nobody talks about them. What do you see? I've been scammed. I don't want somebody. I'm not going to sell on Facebook because I'm going to be scammed. I'm not going to have somebody buy something and I'm going to be scammed. We have posts all the time that show up in the craft group that say, hey, they're scammers. This is a scam. And we look at some of the things that people have posted and we ask them why. That's actually why one of the rules we actually set up in craft when we built it was you can't be assuming everybody is a scammer. We've had people say, oh, I can't send this because this person said they're in Japan, but it's going to Utah. Yes, it's called a drop shipper. Places people actually have stuff sent to them. Oh, I had somebody say, can you please send this to my daughter in this town, but they're here. It's a scam. We have sent 100+ items to people who had other addresses for various reasons. We've sent things to people on a business trip who are going to be at a hotel that was closer to them, so they wanted to save on shipping. We've actually had it done to us. We've shipped stuff to a hotel in Brimfield because it was easier than having it shipped all the way from California when it was coming from Boston. It was going to go halfway through a state or all the way to California. It's like we have shipped stuff to people who bought something as a gift for somebody. We've shipped something to people who forgot to change their address in eBay. No, we didn't tell them to cancel it and then rebuy it. We just shipped it.
Yeah, everything was within the eBay messaging.
All the talk was in there. And if we lose money on it, again, you lose the profit. You don't lose the investment. But again, it's happened, if anything, over 30 years. And what we have to say now is 50,000 items that we've sold 5 times, maybe. I can't even remember.
I can remember 2 specifically. One was a statue that had very specific markings.
We have had them. One was a statue, and there's another. And every once in a while you think are scams. That's true. A lot of times people think new buyers are scammers, but everybody had to start somewhere. People think new sellers are scammers, but everybody has to start somewhere. One good thing about that myth is it keeps a lot of other sellers away. Not sure which myth you're talking about. Scammer alert. I think that we just want people to realize that not everybody is a scammer, and that there are. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of that topic. Where did it go? There it is. It's a myth. It's just a gigantic myth. The last one I'm going to put up is actually one I didn't actually plan on putting up, but this is on Reddit. I see the reseller complaint so many times. People complain about people giving sob stories to those who take all the freebies. Well, that's not necessarily a myth. There's a lot of people who complain about that. So it's just like, well, we're just going to complain. There's nothing we can do about it other than complain about it.
Yeah, Donna makes a point as well.
That's
Resellers take
what I
all
was
the
going
good
to go to, is that
Yeah.
resellers buy all the good stuff and they take it away from those who need it. No, we don't. We buy stuff for resale. It's that simple. We need it to make money. So
It's priced, we buy it.
if it's the right price, we buy it. And I honestly don't think that we're taking away stuff from people. If you want to complain about it, complain about it. But I see people that are buying lots of stuff that is for themselves. I see families that are in there that are buying stuff. I'm not competing with them. They aren't going after the same stuff I'm going after. And if they do and they find it and they buy it, that's fine. They bought it. If they're buying it to give to their kids, that's fine. All it means is that there's merchandise. Yeah, the merchandise is available for anybody to purchase. So it's the one thing that
even if you get something
take a
for
look at.
free on Free Cycle, once you've got it, it's yours to do with what you will.
Yeah. And if you sell something as a reseller and it makes more money for somebody else, we always said this about Brimfield. We used to go and try and figure out which item we were going to see show up at 4 different dealers on 4 different days. And we'd see the item go from $10 to $50 to $100 to $300. Now, each one of those people could be mad at the other. Resellers are resellers. It's a job. And if somebody wants to really complain about that, you know what? The Bay is a reseller. It's not around anymore. Walmart is a reseller. Anybody who sells anything is a reseller. Any company who does it is a reseller. The thrift stores are resellers. There's no reason why we can't be as well. And plus, the thrift stores have so much stuff. Yeah. Greenwell has employees that literally sit and look up items for prices. They only look at listings versus sold, which is
they're trying to do what everyone is doing, maximize the value of the stuff that they can actually put on their shelves to resell or put online to resell. The amount of garbage that people donate that you don't see hitting the shelves that has to literally be thrown out is phenomenal. We have a friend who ran a thrift store in Hamilton, Suzanne and Trish.
Yeah.
And she would say that they would have to sort through a ton of garbage to get a shelf of stuff to put out to sell. And they had to pay to get rid of that ton of garbage. They had to pay the staff to go through that garbage. So when they're charging $5 for a bowl or a plate, that $5 has already been spent 20 times over on cleaning up the trash that they had to sort through. So
it's funny, Donna made a comment that said she had a lady ask why it was using Google Lens to identify items by taking a photo. She showed it to her and said, "I'm Carl searching." Instead of Google searching. Yes, we do. We keep stuff out of landfill. So again, that's just another myth, is that resellers are bad people. I think that's the myth that I'd like to end on, that resellers are bad people. And remember that if you are a reseller, then
you're the opportunist.
You are yes, and you could have your very own show, like Carl the Collector. You could also have your very own podcast, like Carl the Collector does. Carl has the Reseller Evolution podcast, which is on, you can get it on anywhere, I think. It's on YouTube. And he and a fellow reseller actually talk weekly about all sorts of different things, like reselling. Or at the end of the day, you could just keep looking at those things that are like, this is how I'm supposed to spot the good things. No. But keep remembering that, there it is, there are tons of myths out there, and this is just 10 of them that we thought are things that you might keep an eye out open for. So as we started with the song, you keep hearing tons of big scary stories. Thrifting and reselling are a mess. You've been worrying when you shouldn't have been worrying, and we hope we proved that to you today. Now we're going to help you get that off your chest, and I hope we did that today too. These myths were made for busting, and that's just what we'll do. And one of these days, these myths will disappear from our view. Thanks so much for joining us here Tuesday on Two Dogs Digs. We'll be back next Tuesday for those of you who are in our Kennel Club. Sorry we missed last week. I had a summer cold. and we'll be chatting some more about all sorts of different stuff. Doesn't even have to do with reselling half the time. And in 2 weeks, we're going to come back with a show that is going to be focusing. We're going to do some shows that focus specifically on decades and what's resellable from various decades. So may focus a little more on toys than other things, but it'll still be really interesting for you, especially with the summer and all the garage sales coming out there. So I think we're going to be starting out in 2 weeks with the 60s. What's resell from the 60s? So have fun, everybody. Yeah, have fun garage selling, you too. Thank you so much. Thanks for giving us the thumbs up. Remember that you can also join our Facebook group if you haven't joined our Facebook group, and we will see you all in a couple of weeks.
In a couple Tuesdays.
Couple of Tuesdays. Well, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Da, da, da. Myth independent, myth guided singing, myth, never myth. Bye.